Last month, I gave my grandmother's secret cinnamon roll recipe, the one my sister built an entire bakery around, to 40,000 strangers on the internet. For free. Every gram, every trick, every secret. My sister says I destroyed her business out of spite. Am I the asshole? I need you to hear the whole thing, because the recipe was never really the secret. Hold on to that. I'm Eli, 34. My grandmother, Rosa, raised my sister Nora and me for most of our childhood, and her kitchen was the center of the known universe. And the crown jewel of that kitchen was her cinnamon rolls. People talk about their grandma's baking, and I know every family thinks theirs was special. No, Rosa's rolls made grown neighbors act like children. Our mailman once traded us a Christmas ham for a pan of them. That is a documented historical event. Here's the part of the story my sister likes to skip. Nora hated the kitchen. Genuinely. She'd rather mow the lawn twice than knead dough once, and that was fine. That was her. But me? I was Grandma Rosa's shadow from age 7. I had a stool. It had my name on it, painted in her nail polish, because I stood on it every Sunday for years while she narrated what her hands were doing like a sports commentator. Now we wake up the yeast, mijo. It's grumpy, like your grandfather. And when I was 19 and she was slowing down, the two of us spent one whole autumn, months, side by side, rebuilding that recipe from her instincts. Because here's the thing about grandma recipes. They don't exist on paper. They exist in her hands. A little of this, until it feels right. So we measured her instincts. I bought a gram scale with my first paycheck from the campus bookstore. We weighed every handful, timed every proof. She thought the whole project was hilarious. She used to call the scale the tattletale, but she took it seriously too, because I think she knew what we were really doing. We were writing her down. We filled a green spiral notebook with failed batches and margin notes and figured out, together, that her secret wasn't cinnamon at all. It was two things I will not spoil yet, because Grandma would appreciate the suspense. She wrote the final version on a card in her looping handwriting, and on the bottom she wrote, "For Eli, who found the words for my hands." I'd give a lot to have you see that card. I'd give more to still have it. Stay with me. Grandma passed 4 years ago, and the recipe box was left to me, explicitly. It's in the letter she left with her will. Recipes to Eli, jewelry to Nora, house sold and split. Nobody disputed it at the time. Nora, in her own words back then, "What am I going to do with recipes? I burn cereal." Cut to 18 months ago. Nora calls me, warm, chatty, unusual, and asks if she can photograph some cards from the box for a family memory book. A memory book. For the family. I said, of course. I mailed her the box. She kept it 3 weeks. 6 months later, my cousin sends me an Instagram link with the message, did you know about this? Rosa's secret. A bakery. 2 towns over. My sister, in an apron, holding a pan of my grandmother's cinnamon rolls. And the tagline, I'm going to read it to you exactly, because every word is doing something. Baked from the secret recipe my grandmother passed down to me. Some things you just can't Google. Passed down. To me. Some things you just can't Google. I called her, and I was calm. Genuinely calm. I'd rehearsed calm for 2 days. I said, Nora, I'm actually glad Grandma's rolls are out in the world. But the story you're selling isn't true, and the recipe was left to me. I co-created it. I just want 2 things. Tell the story honestly. Say it was Grandma and Eli's recipe. And let's talk about the family memory book because I'd still love a copy. And my sister, my only sibling, laughed, a little embarrassed, and then said the sentence that ended something in me. Eli, be serious. You wrote down what she was already doing. That's not creating, that's transcribing. And honestly, Customers connect with grandmother to granddaughter. A guy in the story complicates the brand. I complicate the brand. 34 years of being her brother, 12 autumns in that kitchen, a stool with my name in nail polish, and I complicate the brand. I asked about the recipe box. She said, breezy as anything, that she'd get it back to me eventually, that it was safer at the bakery where she could protect the IP. The IP. She lawyered the word, folks. My grandmother's handwriting became the IP, so I want to be very clear about the sequence, because it matters for your verdict. I asked nicely, erased. I asked for the box back, twice more in writing, stalled. I offered, in a message I still have, to sign whatever she wanted, to stay out of the marketing entirely if she'd just stop claiming sole inheritance and return the box. Her final answer, verbatim, "The recipe is doing more for this family in my ovens than it ever did in your drawer." Okay, I said. Then it'll do even more on the internet. I have a modest baking channel. Food's still my hobby. Some of you maybe found me from there. That weekend, I posted a 40-minute video called My Grandmother's Cinnamon Rolls, the full recipe, free forever. I told the whole story, the autumn, the tattletale scale, the green notebook, the card, though I kept Nora's name and the bakery out of it entirely. I showed my copies of the recipe, and I gave away everything. The exact gram weights, the overnight cold proof, and the 2 real secrets. See, told you I'd deliver. A spoonful of miso in the filling, and cardamom bloomed in the browned butter. That was Rosa. That was her genius. 40 years of neighbors begging, and she'd wink at me like a co-conspirator. The video did numbers I've never done. 40,000 views in a week, thousands of people baking her rolls, posting them, telling their own grandma stories in my comments. A man in Scotland baked them for his wife's 90th birthday. A teenager made them for a bake sale and taped grandma's words, "until it feels right," to her school's kitchen wall. I read every comment, and I cried at a solid dozen. My grandmother is in more kitchens now than she's ever been. I want that sentence in the record, too. The video changed things for me, too, in ways I didn't expect. 2 baking brands reached out about sponsorships. A regional grocery chain asked about licensing the viral rolls for their bakery section. Actual money, more than I make in a quarter. I turned it all down, every offer, and pinned one comment at the top of the video instead. This recipe is not for sale. Not by me, not by anyone. It was a gift to me, and now it's a gift to you. Recipes belong to kitchens, not counters. Some of you will call that a flex. Maybe. But it also matters for what comes next, because it means I never made $1 off the thing my sister says I weaponized. Keep that in your pocket for the verdict. And then my phone rang, and it was Nora, absolutely incandescent, screaming that regulars were coming in saying, "These are the free internet rolls," that a local food blogger connected the dots on her own. I named no one. And wrote a piece asking why Rosa's secret was selling a recipe that the family had released for free. Nora says her sales are down 40%. She says I burned down her livelihood to win an argument. Our mother tried to fix it the way our mother fixes everything. A dinner. Neutral location. Her lasagna. Both of us under one roof to talk it out like Rosa would want. I went. Nora went. It lasted 11 minutes. Nora opened with, "Are you ready to apologize?" And I said, "Absolutely, right after you do." And our poor mother put her fork down and said, "This is the stupidest war in family history." And honestly, nobody at that table disagreed. My aunt has taken both sides, twice each, depending on who's hosting the holiday. That's an asshole move, Aunt Carol. Pick a lane. Now, the verdict debate. And I'm going to do this fairly, because there's a real case against me. Here it is. Nora put real money into that bakery. Lease, equipment, staff, actual livelihoods, not just hers. I knew the free recipe would hit her business, and I posted anyway. There was a slower door, small claims for the box, a lawyer's letter about the false soul heir marketing, and I chose the door with the fire behind it. And the part I chew on at night? Grandma hated the two of us fighting more than she loved any recipe. There is a version of this where I won the argument and failed the woman. But here's my case. I didn't take anything from Nora. I gave away something that was mine on paper, in a will, in Grandma's own handwriting. I asked for honesty 3 times and got, "You complicate the brand." Nora's business wasn't built on cinnamon rolls. It was built on a story where I don't exist. And the thing about building your brand on some things you just can't Google? You'd better make sure your brother doesn't have the words for Grandma's hands. People ask if Nora and I have spoken since the 11-minute dinner. Once. She texted me on Grandma's birthday. Just, "She'd hate this, you know." And I wrote back, "She'd hate the tagline more." Neither of us replied after that, and I think, in our family's language, that exchange counts as both a truce and a war crime. We'll get there. Or we won't. Rosa raised 2 stubborn bakers. Only one of us knows it. The box, by the way, came back. Certified mail, 2 weeks after the video. No note. The card, "For Eli who found the words for my hands," was in it. I keep it framed now, next to a printout of the Scotland comment, and I'd like to think Rosa would look at these 40,000 kitchens and laugh that big laugh of hers. So, NTA or YTA? Was posting it justice? Or a firebomb with a fond dedication? Comment your verdict, and if your family has a secret recipe, tell me what it actually is, because I promise it's miso or a box mix. Subscribe to the Audacity files. New original stories every week. The Audacity, my friends, is generational.